and welcome to Point of View, where we give students a place to listen, learn, and lean in. We're your hosts, Jordan,
Orelia,
and Randall.
And today we'll be talking about the uplift of self-care in the past years and the positive and negative uses behind them. So, do any of you guys do self-care of any form?
I mean, I think that self-care as a whole is, like, right now, I think people define self-care as so many different things. So, like, people consider eating and drinking to be self-care. So, I mean, by that definition, yes. But I think that self-care is just such a broad thing now where really if you just look into, like, what is self-care, it's just caring for yourself. That's being alive. Like,
bars. What about you, Orelia?
I don't know, I feel like it depends. Like for me, if I think about self-care, it'll be more like just being able to go out and spend more time with myself instead of doing work all the time or like just being with my friends all the time, because that can be
draining
and troublesome at times. And so like being able to basically take out time for yourself, and I mean if that's what's considered largely a self-care, then yes.
Yeah.
Do you guys do like any like particular things? Because like before like quarantine, I'm gonna say that word, before quarantine, I always thought self-care was like, you know, face mask, doing a little like eye mask and stuff like that.
Like relaxation,
Yeah.
massages.
Yeah, but like now it's like self-care branches out to like, I don't know, picking up Harry Potter and like reading Harry Potter books. Because I like, for example, like when I need a quote-unquote self-care day, what I do is I play The Sims. And that's very relaxing. And like, I used to like, I don't know, like I feel like quarantine, while like everyone was at home, everyone was like trying out like new things. Because I know I was really big on the face mask. Like every night I would have a face mask on thinking that it was doing something when it really wasn't. And like it wasn't at all. And then I remember one time I was like, self-care is dumb. Like there's like no point in this. But like now people kind of like branch it out to do like other activities. I don't know. I really don't know what self-care is. Like I get like it's caring for yourself, but like
In what way?
yeah, like it
Yeah.
depends on the person. Because like
Yeah.
someone might say self-care is like, I don't know, baking cookies. And then someone might say self-care is sleeping, or someone might say self-care is doing math. I don't know.
Yes, like something that's like extremely stressful for one person can be like therapeutic for another. So I think that's kind of one of the issues I see with self-care, because like on things like Instagram, you know, you'll see people talk about self-care and they'll put like a super vibe aesthetic thing with all the flower emojis and then it'll be like, you know, face mask, but not everyone wants to do that. It's like, do this, but not everyone wants to do that. And it kind of just creates this like, you know, if you're not doing this, you're not caring for yourself.
Yeah, I think like it just kind of depends on the person, I suppose, because I know like for my brother, for example, like he likes going to the gym and he likes working out and doing powerlifting and stuff. So like for him, that is something that he'll do daily. But then for some people, self-care is that you have designated days instead of doing it every single day because you stick to your routine. But for some people, that idea of self-care can be part of their routine for every single day, and they'll do it religiously every day. But then there's also like some people who make it such a big deal that I have to do this, that they'll make it known to everyone that this has to be done today, and so I'm not doing any other things because I have to spend time doing something that I want to do for myself.
Yeah, it's like they're only doing it just to get like little props from other people. Be like, oh my god, you're taking care of yourself, good for you. And like that just like boils down to like, you know, social media and blah blah blah. Like they're just doing it for like kudos cards.
Yeah.
But like, are you really doing it because you want to, or are you doing it because you're 1.3 million followers did an Instagram poll and said you should do that?
Yeah, I think that like if your self-care is on a schedule, is it really self-care? Because like to really, in my opinion, to really be caring for yourself, you have to listen to yourself, and you know, maybe you'll be okay for like a month without doing a self-care day, but sometimes maybe you're like extra stressful and you just need to relax and take a bath one night. You know, it's like, but to say, well, you know, Tuesday is my self-care bath day, and Thursday is my self-care mask day. It's like, well, so what are you doing in between then? Are you saying in between then I'm not self-caring, I'm like self-hating? Like, what are you doing? I think that self-care should really be a thing where it's just, you know, be mindful of yourself, but, you know, don't make it overbearing where that, because if you're just making it part of your schedule, it's just another thing you're doing every day, like brushing your teeth, I mean, you should brush your teeth, but like,
And sometimes people look at you weird, like, do I go to the gym every day? No. Do I go to the gym, period? No. So then they look at you like, oh, but like, going to the gym's like self-care. So why aren't you doing it? And I'm like, well, I'm sorry, Jessica. It's like self-care is not just a gym for me. And then that like brings up up the point of people who just say they're doing self-care just as like an excuse to like not do something.
Mm-hmm.
And like that kind of goes for school. Because like, yeah, school can be stressful. But then, like, some people be like, oh, well, I need a self-care day to go home. And, like, you think that, oh, they're probably just, like, actually, like, relaxing, taking some time to themselves. No, they're not. They're probably out at Dave & Buster's all day. I'm like, maybe that's self-care to them. But, like, I feel like some people use the term self-care so loosely and, like, it's losing its meaning. And I feel like that's, like, with a lot of things, honestly.
like when people in the news say certain words because it's like, it pops out. I think that's like how self-care is treated, where it's just like, bam, self-care. It's like, but I think the other issue is because some people use self-care as like a daily thing, but other people I think use self-care as like a reactionary thing, where instead it's like, oh, something stressful is happening, I need to self-care now. But the issue is, it's not what you are reacting to changes based on the person, because it's like some people, they're like, I got an extra question on my math homework today, I need to self-care for a whole day. But then other people, they'll be like, yeah, I just like applied for my 7th job, I'm working 7 jobs right now so I can pay for my family, but I'll be okay, maybe I'll like take a bath like next week. And it's like and it just changes between people how when they need to do this self-care. But I feel like before this wasn't really talked about, and it never really, like, of course people still cared about themselves, but it wasn't it wasn't
a term that
it
was
wasn't
used,
branded self-care. It's not like what's something else that's like branded like that now?
No.
I mean, in a way, kind of.
Yeah, because
like mental health
with all
days
the
and
things that they
self-care
do,
days, they're kind of similar, where it's just like, today I'm really stressed. Whereas before it'd be, today I'm really stressed, I need to calm down for a bit and then get back to my work. Now, with the, introduction of people saying you should have a mental health day, where people can say, I'm stressed, I'm going to take the whole day off. And I should be able to. But, sometimes maybe you're just having such a terrible day that you just need to take off.
Yeah, I feel like in itself it's got a lot, like it's a very deep thing, or like a concept. But since the time everybody, and especially on social media, since the time people are like, oh, you should romanticize doing certain things or doing that kind of stuff,
which
you've
is
made
so
exactly
weird.
You have like
That
3
is
candles and
weird.
flowers and you're in a
Why
dim room.
do I
feel
need
like
to
people
take a
do
bath?
that.
Why do I need to do something that I should be doing anyway, with no lights on, them candles on, and like flower petals floating around? I don't need to do all that.
So you can feel like a queen.
And you took
so
all that stuff on your own.
No, right? Because that's so stressful for me, right? Like, imagine you go in your bathroom, dim lights, candles here, candles there, and you got little flower petals, you got a glass of quote-unquote apple juice, which we're gonna pretend is like wine, and then you got your little book. You know what's gonna stress me out is having to take all those candles out, clean up all those petals. That's gonna stress me out. That's all I'm gonna be thinking about.
Not dropping the book in the water,
Right?
The candles falling in the water,
And
the
not
petals
mixing up
clogging
your
the drain.
apple juice inside your bath water.
Like, that's so extra. But yes, I understand what you're saying.
But like, people still did everything they do right now without having, like he said, like without having a tag onto it. Like, you could still do what you're doing without making it look so intentional and making it look like I'm doing this for a particular reason, but you've most probably blown out of your particular reason has just been blown out of proportion. Like, I'm not saying that things are not stressful, and for every different person a lot of different things can be stressful. Like, stuff that's stressful for me, most probably for Randall it's not that stressful, but it's different. But you don't have to make it an active thing to say that, oh, I'm stressed out because of you or because of this thing, and you just like cut that person off for like a certain amount of time, because you're like, oh, you are affecting my peace of mind and my positive aura. Like,
So I'm not gonna talk to you for 2 weeks.
Yeah, I think what it is also is people now are starting to attach their stress to certain things, and whereas before it'd be like, I'm stressed about school, but I can't get out of it, so I have to deal with it. Now it's, I'm stressed with school and I could totally get out of it, so I'm going to do that. And I think with that, it's also like compared to, if your arm is broken, you can walk up to the school and be like, my arm is broken, you can see it. Or I have a 100 fever, you can take my temperature, and they'll be like, okay, we have to make you stay home. But if you say, my mental health is deteriorating, they can't like hold a thermometer to your head and be like, yup, I agree. They just have to take your word for it. So I think that's also just adding to the complications, where it's just you can say something but you can't tell someone no, because you don't really have a way to disprove it without having a full psychoanalysis, and they're not going to do that every day when somebody says, I'm stressed about my next test.
And then if they're like if they're just saying, oh, I need self-care day because they just don't feel like seeing that one teacher, you're just messing up for like other people who like actually need it, and they're gonna be like, well, do you really need it? Are you sure? Are you sure you really need it? And then like that kind of goes to my point of like people can take self-care and like turn it from a healthy thing to something like unhealthy. Like they turn to like a weird obsession. And that's like all they think about. Oh, I gotta pull out my face mask and do my face mask like at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, and 3 o'clock. Because if I don't, my skin's gonna peel off and go away.
Yeah, it almost creates like a placebo effect, or like a reliance.
That's a
like
big
an addiction.
word. What does that word mean?
Placebo?
Yeah.
It's like
So-
when you're like taught into believing something.
Yeah, it's like
okay.
sometimes they've done experiments where they'll give someone an empty capsule and tell them like, oh, this is a pill for this condition. Take it every day and you'll feel better, and they'll start feeling better, even though there's nothing in it. They're tricking themselves into thinking that
I will let that.
taking the pill.
Personally.
Well, see, yeah, it's an unconscious thing. You don't know. It's like,
She's like, oh yeah, I know you're lying. No.
like say it's like say your salads every day were made of like sugar, like
But this is very
but
healthy.
you think it's healthy, and you just keep eating it, and you just feel healthier because you're eating the salad. You're like, man, I know that I'm healthier, even if you're not really healthy, Or it's like people who they'll get like low fat snacks, but then they'll eat like 17 bags of it. Like they're like, man, this is making me feel so much healthier, but
Coke
it's really
zero
not.
sugar.
Coke zero sugar.
Oh, that's fraud.
We
That's
should just put
fraud.
more chemicals to make it taste the same.
That's literally fraud.
But yeah, it's like that with self-care. Like maybe it's not even like, like you said, your face mask, like your skin will fall off. It won't. You'll be fine. People went thousands of years without washing their face. I mean, it was pretty gross. But like, you can just wash your face in the morning and at night. You don't need your face mask to look perfect and avoid, falling apart.
Not to be that like one person, but like all they're doing is like promoting all those chemicals. Because when like I remember I was talking to my friend and we were talking about night routine. I don't know why, and I was like, yeah, my night routine: brush my teeth, take a clean washcloth, wet it, wash my face, we're done. She's like, really? You don't put on no hydro cream night non-allergic gel?
Hypoallergenic.
I said
gel.
no. She was like, you don't put this. I'm like, no. She was like, but is your face really clean then? I was like, oh, I'm sorry. I don't want to put 18 different products on my face that I'm probably allergic to. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's the other thing with like social media. It's like like the thing where it's like, this toothpaste is certified by 9 out of 10 dentists. It's like, it's like you see that, or there'll be a new brand that comes out with this new face wash, and they'll be like, this face wash is better than all the competitors, and then it'll be sponsored, and then someone will get a sponsorship, and this big influencer will be like, guys, you should use this face wash, it's so much better than this other face wash. And then it makes you think, does that mean my face wash is bad? No, it doesn't. Your face wash is just fine. Maybe that other one is slightly better because it'll kill one more germ out of the 14 trillion germs on your face. But it's
And I'm gonna lie, I fell in that trap before. This YouTube when I was young. I was 13. I was watching this YouTuber, and she was promoting this like face thing that you put on your face in the morning before you put like lotion on, or at night, whatever. And I got it because I thought it was gonna make my face crystal clear. I thought my skin was gonna be so soft it felt like cotton candy. It didn't do anything, and I was using it for 2 months, and I got mad because I wasted like $20 on the little thing this big. And I was like, okay, you fool. This was a waste of time and money. And, like, my face felt the same. Maybe my face was a little bit shinier. That's it. But, like, she said it was going to make my face feel so soft and take away all my little bumps and make my face so clear it looks like a baby's bum. No.
Yeah.
No, it didn't.
Yeah, and maybe it works for some people, but again, it's like that's like the whole thing. Not everything works for every person, whether it's your face cream or how you self-care or your little petals in your bathtub. Like, it doesn't work for every person, and I think people need to understand that everybody's different, and one person's routine likely won't work for another person. Like, I think this kind of is a thing that happens all the time, where it's like, if you're not just like me, you're nobody at all. Like, I even see this in like video games where people are like, if you're not using my exact same settings on this game, you won't be good at the game. It's like, really? So yeah, I think it's just people are trying to be exact, like with this new transparency or fake transparency people have with their lives, where they're like, this is what I do in the morning and this is what I do 10 minutes after that, and then 20 minutes after that, people are like, oh my god, but they look so good, now I have to copy them. And then that goes for things like self-care.
Like, we all know that you cut the cameras once you finish and then you roll again. We know.
Yeah, it's something that's like exploited so much in a way, the way people use it, and the way it's become something that you actively use it to rationalize stuff that is wrong, especially many times even between friends or just in your relationships. Like, you do something that's completely illogical and irrational, and yet you try to reason it out and give yourself validation by thinking, oh, but I'm doing this for myself.
That's why people cheat.
Yeah, and so I mean, I wouldn't know, but
No, but yeah, that's why people cheat. They're like, well, I'm doing it because I need this grade to do this, or I already know.
Oh, you meant exam cheating. I was thinking about it for cheating. Okay, sorry.
What? Oh, you're just incriminating yourself.
I didn't do anything.
No, but I mean, okay, this is why people cheat on exams, because they justify it. And I guess why people cheat in relationships, because they justify it. They say, well, it's because I wasn't happy, and I don't think they were really happy either. And this other person, I think I want to make them happy, and they make me more happy. It's like, no, you lied.
Yes, like you use it as a cover for things that are wrong and that have clearly hurt another person. When a lot of times self-care is also like, you put yourself, like, it's not just materialistic things, but things that you do for yourself. Like, you put yourself before in certain situations, and you think that, oh, not everything needs to revolve around other people, and you're setting boundaries or whatever, basically. But then you take that to the extent that you think that things that can be put off easily and that you can just let go of it, you hold on to them and make it such a big deal, and you make it look like, oh no, but this is like troubling me, when it's most probably not troubling you. You just need a reason, and that's a good enough excuse for you to move out of a certain situation. And so you hurt the other person with it, and then you're like, oh no, but I'm doing it for myself. But you clearly just were being very wrong to the other person. And so, like, stuff like that, you just basically exploit the idea of taking care of yourself and your peace, but then...
Yeah. I mean, because that's what they tell you, like, on the airplane. You're supposed to put on your oxygen mask before someone else's, because if you're not, like, alive, how are you going to help someone else? But the whole point is, after you put on your own, you're going to help someone else. You're not going to spend the whole time putting everyone's oxygen masks on yourself so you can breathe all the oxygen and kill everyone else. Like, I think that's what's kind of happening, is people take self-care so far that they care only for themselves and shut everything else out. They shut off their job, so they don't go to their job because they're like, I'm too stressed because you scheduled me for 7 hours, and yesterday I worked 6 hours and 50 minutes. And it's like, or school, where they're like, I don't want to take that test, so I'm going to take a day off. Oh, you know what? Maybe I'll just take 2 days off. It's already Thursday. I might as well take the rest of the week off. And it just gets ridiculous. And then the thing is, it's a hard thing to punish, because, like, skipping school for no reason, they can be like, you're skipping school for no reason. But if you're skipping school and you say, well, it's because I need a mental health break, or I've been really stressed lately, they're like, I can't really say no.
Yeah.
But, in reality, many times you are hurting both yourself, because now you're not learning, you're not at school, you're not making money, you're going to get fired from your job. But, you're hurting other people too, because Now, like, then there's the people who actually need to take a day off, but now they're going to be under suspect because they're like, okay, everybody's taking days off now. Like senior skip days. Senior skip days, they were like a fun thing that people did a couple times a year, and then everybody tried to do it 14 times within a month. And then they said, all right, that's enough. And now everyone's annoyed because they're like, why are you taking away our senior skip days? Because a lot of people abused it. And I feel like that's what we're heading towards with self-care and like mental health days and things like that.
Yeah, many times, like the one that you said about the oxygen mask thing, there was a video lately about somebody talking about it, and they said that that is the true idea, that you have to still take care of yourself all the time. But it was never implied that taking care of yourself first means that you become self-centered, where it was you take care of yourself first just because you're able enough to take care of someone else soon after. And it's not that, oh, you helped yourself and that's about it, like now you can go die. But it's you help yourself, and you're not basically becoming a burden onto someone else to take care of you. That's why you're doing it for yourself, and then you do it to another person. But people close out of the fact that I've taken care of myself, and that's about it.
Yeah, I think people kind of end it there, where it's like, it's not, it's like self-care, and then I'm done, not self-care, and then everyone else care.
Yep.
In the story, self-care is self-care. Self-care is
Whoa.
self-care.
That was very insightful.
Well, this concludes this episode. Thank you so much for listening. For a transcript of this episode, head to the Point of View tab on our website, nhsmessenger.org, and follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at NHS Point of View for updates and new episodes. We're your hosts, Jordan,
Orelia,
And Randall.
and this has been Point of View.